Hey guys, it's Dominique. It's 10:01. Sorry that I'm a little late. I was having technical difficulties, but we'll get started here in a few minutes. I'll wait for a couple people to hop on, but make sure that you take out a pen and paper. I'm going to be taking notes on screen as usual, so you can follow along and take notes as well. Let's see. Welcome to the webinar. We'll get started in a couple minutes here. But make sure that you take out a pen and paper. Oh my God, I can hear myself. I'm taking notes on screen as usual, so you can follow along and take notes as well. Okay, guys, I'll get started in a couple minutes. Sorry, I heard myself on the other computer, so I had to go turn the other computer off. Make sure you have a pen and paper handy because I'm going to be taking notes on screen as usual. Okay, really excited about tonight. Branding is something that is a huge passion of mine, so I'm really excited to be talking to you guys about it and sharing you just a little bit of my knowledge and what I know. Let's see here, let's try to get more of me. Okay, cool. We'll get started in 1 minute. So make sure you have a pen and paper handy. I will be taking notes on screen as usual, so you'll be able to take notes as well. There's toys everywhere. Just know too, whenever I'm wearing a blazer, you should be taking me serious. Okay? Seriously, you should be taking me serious whenever I wear a blazer because that means I'm about to drop some serious knowledge. So once again, make sure you have a pen and paper handy, all right? Because I'm going to be taking notes. I will get started in, I already said 1 minute, so like 40 seconds. Send out one last reminder real quick, and then we'll get started. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed to my reminders, make sure you do so. So how you do that is you text the @ Miss Wealth to 81010, okay? And then you'll be subscribed to get updates and reminders when the next webinar is. And I usually just send out reminders. When the webinar is, I'll send out the replay and stuff like that. So make sure you subscribe. I'm going to send out a reminder right now. The webinar starts now. To all of you that are already subscribed, you should have just got my reminder saying that the webinar starts now. So welcome to the webinar. All right, guys, my name is Dominique Garris. For those of you that don't know me, I'm 26 years old. I live in Pennsylvania. Okay, I'm about 40 minutes north of the city. I am a mother. I have a son, he's 2. I'm in business with my boyfriend, Mikhail Bennett. I don't know if you guys know him. If you don't, definitely look him up on Facebook because he's one of my mentors. The guy knows so much, okay? And I'm not just saying that because he's my boyfriend. So make sure that you definitely friend him. So my backstory pretty much, you know, I grew up in a very small town. I grew up with everything. And I pretty much lost everything over my dad leaving pretty much. My dad left my mom with brain cancer. Sorry, it's a really touchy subject for me. Left my mom with brain cancer, so my mom had nothing. okay? And I basically had to start my life completely over. My parents had filed personal and business bankruptcy, so they were not able to help me financially. And I don't know how many of you have ever tried to get a car loan, being 18 years old, trying to get a car loan and having no credit established and not even knowing what credit was. Well, that was me, okay? And here I am, all right? So my mission basically is to reach out to women, especially men as well, but especially women. I believe that women should create a financial independence for themselves, because if my mother would have done that, she wouldn't be in the situation that she's in now. Went to see my lawyer the other day and found out that my mom is not going to basically make the kind of money that we thought she was going to be making, or getting, I should say, from Social Security. So she's going to have to work more. I mean, that's what most people would do, right? Well, I'm actually going to be able to be working harder on my business, so that I'll be able to provide my mom with the life that she once had. All right. So let's get started. Okay. This webinar, let me share my screen. I always forget this part. All right, so screen share, entire screen share. So if you're on this webinar, let me know that you can see my screen. I screwed up before, but I think I got it this time. So let's see here. We want to go to notes. Okay, so this webinar is about how to create a killer brand using social media. All right, I already went over my story, and we'll just get into basically what this webinar is about. All right, so this webinar is about branding. And you might ask yourself, what is branding? So don't worry, I looked up the definition for you, not in the dictionary, because nobody really looks up anything in the dictionary anymore. I Googled it. Okay, so branding is the marketing practice of creating a name, symbol, or design that identifies and differentiates a product from other products. Okay, so an effective brand strategy, it really gives you that edge in increasingly competitive markets, because there is a lot of competition out there. So when you have a brand for yourself, it's going to set you apart from the other people. Okay, branding yourself, it's something that's really easy to do when you brand you, okay? Because it's a great starting point, honestly. That's how I started. I started by just simply branding myself and my name, because I know that my name is something that, is going to be with me forever, no matter what I do, no matter what business venture I'm in, or if I even own my own business someday, okay? Because that's the major goal. Like, I want to be able to own my own business. Anyway, so you get the gist of it, okay? So when you're branding, you're creating a specific look, feel, or message associated with your name, okay? Because like I said, your name is going to be yours forever, okay? Nobody really has your name unless your name is John Smith. So no matter what company, like I said, that you go to, all right? So here we go. Here are the subjects, all right? So when it comes to creating a killer brand using social media, these are all things that you're going to want to have, okay, and want to be. So you're going to want to be consistent, all right? You're going to want to be authentic. You're going to want to focus, on a niche. And number 4, you want to be relatable. Relatable. Oh my goodness. Bear with me with the typing. If you've been on a webinar before, my typing is not that great because of my nails. All right. So let's get into the first subject, being consistent. All right. So, be consistent. Okay. Once you decide on a brand, whether it's your name or maybe you have some other sort of idea in mind, okay, you really want to make sure that when you're promoting, all right, that you want to be consistent in your promoting tying to your brand, whether it's your name or if you have another idea that you come up with, okay? Because consistency shows that you value what you're after. People won't join your brand or your movement if you aren't consistent. I mean, it makes sense, you know? I mean, they're not going to take you serious, and you want people to take you serious in this business. I mean, you're not going to see success if you don't take yourself seriously. All right? And like I said before, it really took me a long time to build my brand. I've been in network marketing for 15 months now, and, you know, I had a lot of ups and downs in the industry. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I feel that when you make mistakes, mistakes are good. I like to make mistakes because then I learn from them and I know what not to do in the future, right? So I had to show people that I took myself seriously before anybody else would, okay? So when it comes to being consistent, you want to decide first where and how many times a day you want to post, okay? So decide where and how many times per day you want to post. Whoa, want to post, okay? So this could be, you know, Facebook, Instagram, let's see, Twitter, even Pinterest. You know, I've dropped that one before. YouTube. There's even a new one called Periscope. I haven't checked it out yet, but I will write it on here. Let me change this to a 1. Okay. So first of all, you want to, I had talked about in a previous webinar that you want to pick one and master it, all right? I actually have one that I master, but I work a lot with Facebook and Instagram. So anything that I post on Facebook, the first thing I do, okay, is I post what I want to on Facebook, whether it's a picture or a status or whatever it may be. Right after I post, I go directly to Instagram and I post the same exact thing. Maybe I change up like what I say underneath, but if I'm in a rush or like if I have a call that I have to get on, I'll post the same exact thing, copy paste. Like you don't really want to waste your time. Not really, you don't want to waste your time. So to be able to copy and paste that from Facebook to Instagram, that's a great strategy to have, or even from, you know, Facebook to Twitter, Twitter to YouTube. Oh my goodness, it says YouTuber. But you get what I'm saying, all right? So you also want to know how many times per day you want to post. I said in my previous webinars that, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5, 5 to 10. There's really no limit on how many times a day you should post. You really want to keep an eye on, you know, what your audience is and see how active they are when you post. You know, do they like your statuses? Do they comment? Like, you want to keep that in mind, because if you really want to get your name out there when you're branding, you're going to want to continue to promote yourself, right? So that's another thing too. Promote. And I'm going to get a little bit more into that a little bit later on. But like I said, you want to promote, okay? Because people aren't going to know what is going on in your life unless if you're sharing it. I mean, that's common sense, but I feel like sometimes people don't think about that throughout the day and they don't post as many times as they should, and they're not consistent. Sometimes they might post, you know, 6 times a day, and then the next day they won't post, and the next day they won't post, and then they'll post once. You know, like, people aren't going to take you serious if you're doing that. They want to see that you're consistently doing this, okay? And you're consistently on social media promoting your brand, all right? So number 2 is be aware. right? You want to be aware of what you're posting. Okay. You want to be aware of what you're posting. And what I ask myself before I make a post, I say to myself, you know, is what I'm posting going to affect my image or my brand? So I'll type that here. Is what I am posting affecting my name and my brand? And I'll answer that question for you. Anything that you're posting is going to affect your brand because your brand is most likely your name. So you want to make sure, you know, that what you're posting is appropriate. And you want to make sure that what you're sharing is appropriate as well, because people do see what you share, right? Once you create a voice for yourself, okay, and have an opinion, people are going to be watching and waiting for you to screw up. That's just how people are, you know. Once you announce something or you have an opinion, you know, they really want to see you mess up. So you have to be aware and be strategic with your promoting on social media, okay? So let's see, what do I want to write? Let's be aware. Okay, so I'm going to put, so you have to be aware and strategic with your promoting, I'm going to say with promoting on social media. Okay? All right. Makes sense. So, number 3, okay, is mix business and personal. Now, I don't mean in the way that you think that means, but I mean mix, oh my God, business. Mix business and personal. Meaning let people in on your life a little bit. Because remember, your profile is not a brochure, okay? It's not your business page. It's your page, okay? So my Facebook is my name, Dominique Garris. So people want to know about me and my life, right? People want to see your life, and that's a reality, okay? They do. They want to see your life. All right, so post about your life on a daily basis. People want to follow you, and they want to see exactly what you're doing on a daily basis. So for example, like I'll post things about my son. I'll post things about where I'm going for the day. If I'm at Starbucks making a few phone calls, I'll post it. You know, people sometimes like to live their life through you. So they really want to see what you do on a daily basis and how you are successful and how you've gotten to the point of where you're at, okay? Number 4 is know what time of day to post. I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but if you think about it, it really does make sense, okay? So here's the thing. 9 a.m., what are people doing at 9 a.m.? People are at work, okay? So majority of people are not going to be looking at their phones, okay? The time that you do really want to post in the morning, all right? So let me not write that. I'm going to put 7 to 8 a.m. is a great time to post because people are heading to work. You know, I always, before I head into work, I work 2 days a week still. I always look at my phone right before I go into work because I want to make sure that if I have any appointments that day or if I need to post myself on Facebook, okay, it's a great time to post in the morning, all right? Another great time, what do you think it is? Lunchtime, right? That's when people go on lunch breaks. So usually people go on their lunch breaks between, I'm going to say 12 and 3. I worked at a bank and we would have to schedule our lunches for the whole day. So we would usually do like 12 to 3. All right. So lunchtime is a great time to post. People automatically go right to their phones. People's phones are attached at their hip. Okay. So when they go on lunch break, they're going to be on their phones, going through Facebook, wasting time, you know, but when you're posting things that are valuable, they're not going to be wasting their time, right? So lunchtime, 12 to 3 is another great time to post. Another great time to post is 5 o'clock, okay? We'll say between 5 and 6, because that's when people are getting done work. So once again, they're going to take their phones out, all right? I'm going to do after work post. After work post. All right? And you can even be strategic in what you're posting. You know, maybe at lunchtime, you could post about like what you're doing during lunchtime and then tie it back into your business. There's different ways to do that. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but think about it. You know, you want to be strategic in what you're posting. All right. Another great time is between 9 and 11. Because what most people are doing between that time is they're on the couch watching their shows, okay? This is like prime time for people to be on their phones. I'm going to put people are on the couch watching their show. Maybe they're not on Facebook while they're watching their show, but you know during the commercials that they are on Facebook or they're on Instagram, okay? So those are some great times to post. And you can just, you know, the night before, if you want to figure out exactly when you want to post, you know, say like 7 a.m. and then say, you know, 12 a.m. and then 12 p.m. and then 3 p.m. and so on and so forth. And the day before, that's when I usually figure out what times of the day I want to post. All right. So when you're thinking about when you want to post and what you want to post, you need to be thinking about the majority of people and what they're doing during that time. And I feel like a lot of people don't think about that. So think about what the majority of people are doing during the day. Okay? We'll move on to subject number 2, which is be authentic. Oops. Number 2. Okay. So being authentic, that's something that I feel I am. I stumble over my words. I lose my train of thought. Like now, okay? I've stuttered before. Sometimes I have a lisp, okay? But I don't care. I'm me. I'm authentic, okay? And that's what people really want to see. And when you are on social media, I don't know how your parents are, but my mom, I call her the Facebook troll because she is always calling people out on Facebook. She's always giving her opinion. Sometimes it's negative, but she's always all over Facebook. I really should block her. Okay? Because your friends and family are going to be the first ones to call you out when you aren't being yourself, right? And here's another thing too. You don't ever want to lie about anything, really. I mean, you don't want to lie about your income or anything like that. And here's why. Okay, I'm a huge believer in karma. I believe that if something, you know, you do something that has a negative outcome, then that negative, it's going to come back to you and it's going to be negative. I highly believe in that. Same thing with positive. If you're doing something positive out in the world, it's bound to come back to you in a positive way, right? So you want to keep that in mind as well, all right? So let's see, what do I want to type for that? Okay, so negative will negative, positive, woo, positive will bring, makes sense in my head, might not in yours, but that's all right. Okay, so when you're being authentic, you want to be able to tell your story. I've mentioned this before in other webinars as well, but you want to show people that you are average or you once were average, okay? And if you are average, you want to show people that you're not just average, okay? You have ambition, you have goals, you have a future that you're planning. You're doing something more with your life than what the majority of people are doing. Most people are working, and there's nothing wrong with working. I still work 2 days a week, okay? But my reason for working might be different from somebody else. So you really want to be able to tell your story, okay? And remember, like what I said on my other webinar, stories sell. People love to read about other people. It's gossip. People love to read about it, okay? But you want to remember to be authentic with your story. But be authentic, okay? Number 2, share a solution. I like this one. Solution. Okay. So, for example, maybe you couldn't figure out how to properly edify, okay, until you saw a YouTube video maybe, or somebody else had given you a great tip and it gave you that aha moment. Share it. Share it on social media, because here's the thing. There's somebody out there just like you that has that problem, all right? And another thing too, like us being entrepreneurs, it's our job to bring solutions to all the problems in the world. You know, even maybe your problem isn't business related that you have. Maybe it's something more personal, but you found a solution. Share that too, because it's going to show that you're authentically helping people. All right, so share a solution, whether personal or business. I'll say biz related. I'm also going to write, oops, as entrepreneurs, it is our duty to provide solutions to the problems in the world. Okay, makes sense, right? All right, so number 3 is focus on a niche. I didn't know what a niche was for the longest time. I'll admit that, because I'm authentic. I didn't know what that meant for the longest time, so I had to find out, all right? And I'm gonna tell you. So, a niche is something that you're really good at. So, if you're good at making videos, promote your brand and perfect that through videos, okay? If you're good at maybe writing, you can write a blog, because when you focus on what you are good at and then you perfect it, that's how you'll make a fortune. All right, so let me write that. When you focus, what you are good at and perfect it, that's how you will make a fortune. So also, when it comes to finding a niche, you want to find what you're good at and do it. You are good at and do it. And it might take you trial and error, like it did for me, and that's okay. Like I said, when you make mistakes, that's a good thing, because you're going to be learning from it. You'll do it different the next time. Makes sense, right? So it doesn't matter, because as long as you stay consistent, you're going to find out what you're good at. So I'm going to say that again. As long as you are consistent, you will find what you are good at. Okay? Number 2, when you are focusing on a niche, is you want to try something new. I'll tell you a little story about me real quick. I told the story before, but I'll tell it again. So when I first got into network marketing, I was in New York on a rooftop with my mentor and a few other business partners. Everybody decided that they wanted to do a video. And there was me, okay? I'm very outgoing, but I'm also shy at the same time when I'm around other people that maybe I don't know that well. So they wanted to do a video, and I was terrified to the point where when it came to be my turn to talk, I started crying. Yep, I did. So embarrassing. There were other people eating on the roof. You know, everybody was seeing me cry over my fear. And look at me now, right? I'm doing webinars. I do videos on Facebook all the time. I post videos in like my private groups and stuff that I have too. And I really love it. I found it to be one of my passions because, and this is why I did it and I never gave up. Because sometimes the thing that you're most scared of or terrified of doing is what you're missing in your business, and it could be what you are really good at. And maybe you just don't know it yet. All right, so try something new. I'll put, let's see. Sometimes the thing you are most scared or even terrified of doing, is what you are missing in your business and what you are really good at, but just don't know it yet. Okay? And once I tried something new, it was crazy. Like, I remember for a long time I was like practicing in front of the mirror, and even now, like if I make a video, it sometimes will take me 10 takes until I get it right. But that's okay, because there's a lot of people out there that don't get it right the first time. But there's always room for growth, and the more that you practice doing something that you're scared of, the easier it's going to be each time. All right? So subject number 4 is be relatable. There we go. Thank you, autocorrect. So remember, there are 8 billion people in the world. Isn't that crazy? 8 billion people. So there's bound to be somebody like you. I mean, there's probably thousands of people like you, in fact, that are just like you, right? So you just have to find them. Or maybe you're one of those lucky ones that has them find you. And it doesn't have to be luck, because like I said before, no one's going to know who you are or what you stand for until you speak on it, right? So no one will know who you are or what you stand for until you speak on it. So when it comes to being relatable, okay, you really need to figure out what your target market is. And I've spoken about this before, but it's super important. It's crucial, in fact. So here's something that I did, okay? I wrote down the qualities that I would want in a business partner. And that's what I call an avatar, but it's really crucial that you create that. Because what it's going to do, it's going to allow you, you know, when you go to disqualify people, that process is going to happen before you even start a conversation with the person, because you're going to learn what to look for when you go through their Facebook. You're going to learn what to look for when you go through their Instagram or their Twitter or their YouTube. You're going to be able to like figure out exactly who you want and mold that person. You know, figure out that person that you have in your head. Like for me, it's moms, whether they're single moms or moms that work full time. I can relate to that. And those are the people that I am targeting. So you want to do the same thing and create that. Maybe it's the same thing I have. That's cool. Okay. There's a lot of single moms out there. Like I said, there's 8 billion people in the world. But when it comes down to it, you need to figure that out. So write down qualities that you would want in a business partner. And you know, it's funny because there's a lot of people, well, maybe not men, but women, you know, that will write down things that they want in a boyfriend or a husband, you know, and they're going to go looking all over for that special guy that meets all of their criteria. Okay. And it's the same thing with network marketing. Like the beauty of it is you get to pick exactly who you want to work with. So it's important that you write down those qualities and then you create that avatar. So I'll say create your avatar. Oh, sorry, bug. I don't like bugs. Okay, moving on. Another thing too, okay, I used to say this all the time, but let me write this down. So, I hear you, all right? So have you ever had somebody say like, I hear what you're saying? Well, some people might take that the wrong way, all right? So if you would simply switch it up instead of it saying, I hear you, to I know what, or not, oh my goodness, from I know to I hear. Let me start over, okay? Have you ever said, I know what you mean? People take that the wrong way because they're going to think you're a know-it-all and like what they're saying doesn't matter. So when you say, I hear you, it shows that you're listening and it shows that you care, okay? So simply changing, I know what you are saying, to I hear what you are saying. Okay. You got to build that trust with people. And when you say I hear what you're saying, a lot of people are going to continue to open up with you and they're going to keep telling you about their problems because like I said, as entrepreneurs, we're out here to provide a solution to all the problems, right? So make sure, you know, the next time that you're talking to someone on Facebook or even in person or on Instagram, text, whatever it may be, and you catch yourself typing, I know what you're saying. Try saying, I hear what you're saying, and let me know how it works, okay? So I feel like I gave you guys some great information when it comes to building your brand on social media. But just remember that it really does come down to you and who you are. And it's important that you promote and you announce who you are and you stay consistent. All right. You want to stay consistent on social media. If you go to my Facebook, okay, go all the way back to when I first got started, you can see exactly the path I took. There's another tip, okay? There's a bonus tip. Go to somebody that you admire, or, I mean, it's probably not me, but go to somebody you admire or somebody you look up to or want to be like and go through their Facebook, okay? Go to another leader in the industry and go way back to before network marketing, and you can see the growth and see how they've changed and see how they've created a name and a brand for themselves. All right, so let me get off of this and get back to so you can actually see me. I just hit stop broadcast, and I don't want to do that. Hey! So that basically wraps up the webinar, but I wanted to tell you guys another thing too. I don't know if you guys have been on my webinar before, but I'm out here to, not only teach you guys, but, I really want to help people too. And just because you aren't in my business, doesn't mean I can't help you. And that's why I'm doing these webinars. But as you see the information that I'm giving, just think about everything that I do know and I'm not telling you. I mean, I do give you guys more information than I probably should, but that's just who I am. And like I said, you want to be authentic, right? But if you would like to be mentored by me, okay, even if you're in another company, you could simply, when you simply join my business, you're going to get that mentorship for free, which is crazy, right? And we have the most valuable product there is, credit, okay? And I'm going to speak on that a little bit because I have a special kind of feeling about credit, right? So I have a background of banking, okay? I've seen the average person come in living paycheck to paycheck, having overdraft fees. And maybe this is you. Maybe this is who you are. Overdraft fees, you're struggling to make your car payment. You pay it a month late, 2 months behind, and you're ruining your credit. And then you go and try to get a house and you can't get a house because your credit's ruined. Here's the reality, okay? Without good credit, you can't do anything. Credit is the foundation for the rest of your life. Even now, you can't get a car without good credit, okay? You can't get electric without good credit. You have to put a down payment down, right? A cell phone, same thing. So when it comes to having good credit, it's something that you need to be aware of and know what your credit is. And if it's not good, you need to reach out to me. I can help you, okay? I can even give you some free advice as well. There's nothing wrong with giving free advice, right? And I'm very knowledgeable in this aspect. And when it comes to network marketing, I spoke about this in another webinar. You want your product to be valuable and for it to be able to market to the masses, right? And credit is something that everybody needs, okay? Whether you have good credit already, doesn't mean everything on your credit is accurate, okay? Maybe you have bad credit. Maybe you don't have credit. If you don't have credit, I can educate you on how to properly build your credit. And not only that, I can teach you, how to establish good credit and how to keep good credit, all right? Because I've been down that road. I had a car repossessed, okay? I've had so much credit card debt. I didn't go to school, so I don't have student loan debts, but that's something I can also help you with. If you have student loans that you can't, work with, that's something I can help you with too, along with my credit repair service. So what it comes down to, I just want you guys to know that I'm doing these webinars because I truly care about people and I truly care about helping you. I don't care what business you're in. I simply want to help you, and that's why I'm here. So I'm going to wrap it up. I don't want to keep rambling. So if you're watching this webinar and you're interested in working with me, or just want to contact me and find out more information or just have a conversation, click the link next to the video. I don't know if I'm pointing the right way, but click the link next to the video and let's chat, all right? But that's going to end the webinar for tonight. I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday, all right? And I'll be doing another webinar this week. Not sure what day. I have to look at my schedule, but I'm excited. And thank you guys for viewing and for supporting me. And I support you guys, all right? Take care. Have a good night.